full coverage, waterproof, sweat-proof, long-wearing, weightless, blurring, won't clog your pores, and has 16 clean ingredients. Okay, girl, we gonna see how it holds up on my oily skin. Hey girl, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faye, and for today's video, I am bringing you guys yet another foundation review. Today, we're going to be reviewing the long-awaited, very much anticipated new One Size foundation. Several of you guys sent me messages asking if I plan to review this foundation as soon as it launched, and y'all already know. Full coverage for oily skin? Absolutely. So I went in store yesterday, which was when it launched, and picked this up for you guys. I also picked up the Infinity Sponge. So we're gonna test it out today. We're gonna see what it's giving. And of course, you already know, I'm gonna let you guys know the tea after I do a little wear test throughout the day and see how it actually wears on my oily skin. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so that other people who maybe are interested in a review on this foundation can find the video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, so first things first, I'm gonna prime my face. Today, I'm not gonna play myself. I'm just gonna use my regular primers so that we can see how the foundation would wear with products that I would normally wear on the face. So first up, I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum, water powder serum. Yeah, water powder serum. And I'm just gonna apply this all over the face and blend it in. Okay, so that's like my base mattifying layer. After that, I'm gonna go in with another Danessa Myricks product. This is her Universal Blurring Balm, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply that right on top. All right, and then last but not least, just in this area where I have my large pores, I'm gonna go in with this primer from Smashbox. This is the Photo Finish Primer, and I'm just gonna apply that to smooth out the skin. All right, so skin is prepped, so let's go ahead and get into the foundation. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base Full Beat Waterproof Liquid Foundation. It retails for $44 and comes in 38 different shades. On the back of the box, it says that it's supposed to be full coverage, soft matte, waterproof and sweat-proof, long wear and weightless, won't clog pores, dermatologist tested, and has 16 clean ingredients. And I'm just gonna look on Sephora and just make sure that I didn't miss anything. It says it's vegan, it's supposed to be matte finish. Yeah, lots of really great claims. It's supposed to visibly blur and smooth skin without clogging pores. Full coverage, matte formula. So I'm really excited to try this out. I picked mine up in the shade Medium Dark 60G. I originally had one of the golden olive tones in my cart, but like I said, I went into the store. Actually, I think I can tell you guys if I didn't already delete them out of my favorites. No. So originally in my cart, I had Dark Deep 15GO, which is for dark deep golden olive undertones, and that's the one that I thought was going to be my shade. And then I also had Medium Dark 40G, which is medium dark for golden undertones. So I did swatch Dark Deep 15GO, and it looked a little green on me, which I know that's like the olive in it. Sometimes golden olive foundations or foundations that are described as that do work well on my complexion, but when I swatched it like on my neck, it was not giving. And then Medium Dark 40G was a little bit too light in my opinion. So this is the one that I ended up settling on, and when I applied it to my chest when I got home and blended out, it completely disappeared. So fingers crossed it will actually match the face when we apply it today. I also picked up their Infinity Sponge, which I mentioned. This is the Turn Up the Base Infinity Sponge. This retails for $19, and it's supposed to be an ultra soft ergonomic tool designed with a unique oleoid shape for infinite uses that smoothly apply makeup from liquids and creams to powders. This is what it looks like, just completely dry. So I'm gonna go and wet this real quick, and I'll show you guys a side-by-side comparison because this is supposed to get pretty big once it's wet. Okay, so I went ahead and wet it. This is what it looks like now. This sponge is huge. I'm not sure if you guys will really be able to see the difference, but I literally watched it get like twice the size while I was adding water to it. Of course, make sure that you wring out as much water as you can because you want it to be damp. You don't want it to be wet. But enough of my talking. Let's go ahead and get into the application of the foundation. So I'm going to shake it up. I usually don't watch other people's reviews of products before I try them out because I don't want to be swayed one way or another on my opinion. But I did watch Patrick Starr talk about this foundation and how it's supposed to be used. And he did say that you want to really shake it up because it does have, like I mentioned, those 16 clean ingredients. He said it kind of works similar to like a skincare product where sometimes there can be separation between like certain ingredients that'll be up on the top and other ingredients that will like way down to the bottom. So you just want to make sure that you shake it up really good, which I'm going to do. And then I'm going to pump it onto a concealer brush and apply it to the face. I am not typically a sponge person for blending out foundation, but since this foundation comes with a sponge, I'm going to try it out that way. Okay, so this is one side blended out. I do think overall this was a really good pick for the color. I do think as far as the coverage goes though, I can still see my dark spots peeking through, but that is kind of what you get when you blend something out with a sponge. You're gonna get a more sheared out coverage. So I'm gonna take my brush. This is the Morphe E63, and I don't think that was focused. There you go. E63, it's like a little angled brush, and I'm going to use this to blend out the other side just to see the difference in the coverage that we get. And he did mention in his video that you want to pat this foundation into the skin, pat and press. I'm already liking the brush side better. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. But yeah, you want to pat and press this into your skin. You don't want to do too much swiping, especially as I swipe, but especially as if you're using a brush, because otherwise you'll get those like brush streaks in the foundation. Okay, so this is how we're looking. This is the sponge side, and then this is the brush side. So again, like I said, personally, I prefer the brush side because I do think I got more coverage on this side with the brush, which that's gonna be true with any foundation. If you use a sponge, it's gonna shear it out a little bit more. If you use a brush, it's gonna apply it a little bit more full coverage. I do feel like the foundation feels super lightweight. For this to be a full coverage product, it is feeling almost non-existent on the skin. It feels super, super lightweight on the face. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. I'm gonna do one more pump on this side. And you get a lot with one pump. Like I just did one pump on here. I still have more product on my brush. I may not need all of this. I'll do a little on my forehead. But I'm gonna blend this second layer out with a brush. And also, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear or not, but there is some thundering going on in the background. We are literally in the beginning stages of this hurricane that apparently is on the way. So if you can hear that, that is what that is. But I figured it would give a little ambiance to the video. So, and also we got work to do, okay? Definitely wanted to make sure that I got this out for you guys so that you guys can, you know, decide if you think it's worth your coins or not. So if you hear a little thunder in the background, just know the show must go on. Okay, so this is how the face is looking after the second layer of the product blended out with the brush. It definitely built up nicely. It gave me a little bit more coverage. I would say if you're blending it out with a sponge, it's gonna give medium coverage. If you're blending it out with a brush, it's gonna give you buildable to full coverage. That's my opinion. I think I said it claims to be super full coverage. Yeah, full coverage, soft matte. Definitely giving soft matte. My skin is skinning. It doesn't look overly dried down. It's definitely giving soft matte for sure. But as far as the coverage, I think it's giving like buildable to full coverage, which I am not mad at because not everybody wants full coverage beat every single day. So it kind of gives you that flexibility to build it up to that full coverage beat, or to also be able to shear it out if you want to shear it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face off camera because I'm not sure what Little Miss Hurricane Helen has in store for us, and I want to make sure that I'm able to get everything done before potentially, I'm not gonna put it out in the universe, but while I still have all of my things working, I want to make sure that I'm able to get this part filmed for you guys. So I'm just going to do that off camera really quickly, and then I'll come back to give you guys my first impression, and then we'll start the wear test. Oh, also wanted to mention, I think I said earlier that the foundation comes with a sponge. It does not come with the sponge, but the two were launched together, so that is why I wanted to try them out. But I'm going to use the sponge for like my concealer and just other things on the face as well, so I'll give you guys an update on that also in my first impressions once I complete the face. All right, y'all, so I am back. Full face is on, so let's go ahead and get into the first impressions. Also, if you are curious, on my lips I'm wearing the Fenty lip liner in Extra Thigh, and on my lips I'm wearing the glossy lip stick situation, the gloss stick, that's what it's called, in 2 Lip Kiss. So if you're curious what this new lip is, that is what I have on. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you about the face. I don't think so. As far as the makeup, I basically just did what I would typically do on an everyday basis. I kind of wanted to just focus on the foundation and not do too much. So if you're interested in like the process of me doing my makeup or anything like that, I do plan to film another video of actually like a full like get ready with me with this foundation, so stay tuned for that. But this is what the face is looking like. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can see the skin. So this is what we're looking like on the face after applying all of the products. I did set my face with the Charlotte Tilbury and the One Size in case you're interested in that. I did have a couple of blemishes, which you can kind of see peeking through on the face, but besides that, this is what we're looking like. You guys saw my face obviously at the beginning of the video. So let's go ahead and get into my initial thoughts. First things first, the skin eats. I was a little bit nervous, I'll be honest, as I was like applying all of my other products on top, because I kind of had a moment where I felt like, oh, I don't know. But once I kind of got everything on the face, set everything down with powder, you kind of have to trust the process, not in a bad way, but I think just in general, whenever you're doing your makeup, sometimes you have those moments in the middle where you're like, oh, is this gonna be a bad day? And I kind of was having one of those moments as I was applying all of my other products. But once I got everything on and set my face, like I said, you guys can see the material, the skin is eating. So as far as the claims, first up, full coverage. In my opinion, I feel like I mentioned to you guys when I was applying it, if you're using a sponge, it's gonna give medium coverage, maybe even a little bit less than medium coverage. If you're using a brush, it's gonna give you buildable to full coverage, in my opinion, especially if you have things on your face that you're trying to cover up. As you guys saw, I do have some breakouts. I do have some dark spots that I'm working on my skin, on my cheek area. I do have large pores. So I do have things on my, like I don't have perfect glass skin is what I'm trying to say. I'm working on it, but we're not there yet. So for me, as you guys saw, I did have to build it up a little bit, but I think it built up beautifully. It still gave me coverage. And now that I do have all of my products on the face, you really can't see any of my dark spots or imperfections peeking through. It's definitely giving full coverage. Soft matte, absolutely. I'm actually kind of shook because when I went into like regular light, not my studio lights, it's definitely giving makeup, like my face is giving full beat for sure. Like complexion is giving full beat, but it's crazy because my skin it doesn't feel heavy, which is almost kind of contradictory because I don't know if you guys can relate, but typically when I wear full coverage foundations, they feel like full coverage foundations. And this feels like a lot of the soft matte products that I have tested out over the last couple of weeks, like other foundations I have tested that are that like lightweight formula, but those foundations are typically medium coverage. And this one, it's giving soft matte, but it's giving full coverage, which has me shook, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, outside of that, I can't really give you an update on like the clogging pores and all of that just yet, but of course I'm gonna test it out and I'll keep you guys posted. And yeah, we're gonna see how long it wears. It is currently 3:37. I've been chatting with you guys a little bit, but 3:37 now that I have everything on the skin. So we'll start the wear test at that time. I had the foundation applied at 3 o'clock, but then it took me about 30 minutes to finish up the rest of the face. So 3 o'clock, 3:30, we'll start around that time, and we're gonna see how this wears. I have very high hopes because the skin is eating, okay? And I'm very much a full coverage girl because I got stuff I'm trying to cover up, and it's either full coverage or nothing for me. So I have very high hopes for this. I'm hoping that it wears well because so far, so good. Also wanted to give you an update on the sponge. I'm gonna have to try this out a little bit more. I will say if you're using this to apply the foundation, it's gonna give you a nice smooth application because of this flat kind of side that it has for applying the product to the face. But if you're trying to like do underneath your eye or like down the bridge of your nose or like any very kind of tight spaces, I had a little bit of difficulty with that because the sponge is so large. So I'm going to keep testing it out. I'm not going to give like my final thoughts on this yet because I think there might be a little bit of a learning curve with this. As of right now, especially considering the price point, do I think you need it? No. But if you're in the market for a new sponge, or if you're somebody that likes to apply a lot of products on your face with a sponge, I think you would like this. I personally am just more of a brush girl, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep trying it out, but for me, I just prefer brushes. But like I said, if you are a sponge girly for like creams and different products that you apply on your face, even your foundation, and you like a sponge, I think you would like this because there are a lot of different surfaces. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there about the sponge since I know that's new as well. I think I covered everything for first impression. So like I said, we're gonna wear this throughout the day. I'm gonna try to wear it for a good, 6, 7, 8 hours. We'll see how long we can keep it on. And I'll come back a little bit later to check in with you guys and give you an update. Hey girl, so I am back as promised. It is currently 11:46. There is the time check. So I have officially had this on my face for about 8 hours. Since I left you guys, I had dinner, I went and ran some errands, we had to go to Target, get some groceries, a couple of things. It is raining outside because there is a hurricane coming. So yeah, we definitely were out and about in the rain, which is why I have this like rain jacket situation on. So we were out in the elements a little bit. Like I said, I ate dinner, usual things. And now 8 hours later, this is how the face is looking. So I would say the face is definitely giving a little bit worn in. We are oily in our T-zone area per usual, but this honestly is nothing compared to how oily I can get. So I am actually very impressed with the way that my face looks. I'll zoom you guys in just a little so you guys can see up close. So this is how we're looking. Again, a little bit oily in my normal areas, but nothing to be super concerned about. I did notice that it looked like it kind of broke up a little bit underneath my nose right here. That may have been from me rubbing my nose. I don't really remember. And it is settling just a little bit in the creases of my nose as well, and a little bit on my smile lines, which I think those are all areas that if I just primed a little bit better in those areas, it wouldn't be an issue. But overall, I do think my face looks pretty good, specifically on how much oil I actually have on my face, because I'm used to seeing much more than this from having a foundation on for 8 hours and not touching up whatsoever. Okay, so let's go ahead and pretend that I'm not about to go to bed. We need this face to last a little bit longer, and we need to kind of refresh it and bring it back to life. So I'm gonna go in with my Kleenex tissue, and I'm just gonna blot my face to kind of remove some of that excess oil. Okay, so this is what the face is looking like blotted on this side. This side has not been blotted yet. This side has been blotted with the tissue. This is how much actually came off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so this is how we're looking after just blotting the face. I'm gonna go in with a translucent setting powder. This one is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the powder that I typically take with me in my purse on the go for touching up throughout the day. So if I were out and about and I needed to touch up my face, I kind of want to show you guys what that would look like. So I'm just gonna go right on top and just kind of remattify and bring everything hopefully back to life and see what it's giving. Okay, so this is how the face is looking after blotting with our tissue, resetting, and then also spraying the face with some setting powder. and this is what it is giving. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys that I am very, very impressed with this foundation. I actually checked my face in the mirror around like the 4 to 5 hour mark, and when I saw how little oil my skin had produced at that time frame, I knew that this one was going to be a winner, because typically for me, like halfway through the day, that 4 to 5 hour mark, I'm usually pretty oily, and I was much obviously less oily than what I showed you before I blotted my face. And yeah, I'm impressed by this one, very much impressed by this one. In my opinion, I do think this is a foundation that, even though it claims to be full coverage, soft matte, I think that this is a product that could work for a lot of different skin types, especially if you prep your skin accordingly. So if you have dry skin, you use moisturizing primers. If you have oily skin like I do, you use similar primers to the ones that I did, ones that are going to control oil throughout the day. Whatever it is that your skin needs are, if you prep your skin accordingly, I think you would really like this foundation. Of course, again, this is gonna be for, this isn't giving clean girl, okay? It's giving very much full glam. This is going to be for my girls that have things that they want to cover, that like that full glam look, that want that full beat, or even if you just want something to have on hand for special occasions, for birthdays, for going out to dinner, when you want to give a little something extra. That is what this foundation is giving. But for me, yeah, I'm very much a full coverage girl. I love a foundation. If I'm going to be putting something on, I want to be putting it on. So I absolutely love this. I also love that it is soft matte, so it's not going to be overly drying on the face. It's still going to allow you to get that coverage that you want, and it's not going to have you looking crusty, musty, dusty, like you're dried out in the desert, okay? So yeah, if you're new here, you might not know this, but for those of you guys that are not, I have been trying out lots of soft matte, medium coverage, kind of buildable coverage type foundations. So I'm very much excited to be bringing you guys something a little bit different, a little more full coverage, a little bit more glam, and you know, obviously testing it out for my oily girls. This foundation is definitely getting a 10 out of 10 for me. Now again, the sponge, I feel like you can kind of take or leave. If you are looking for a new sponge, or if you like to apply a lot of your products like your bronzers, blushes, foundation, concealers, all of that kind of stuff with a sponge, then I think you would like this, because like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different surfaces and it's kind of got like a different kind of shape, so this may be something that you like. But if you're more into using brushes, or if you really only use sponges for like just your concealer area, you may or may not like this. Again, like I said, I'm gonna keep trying it out, because I do think I kind of have to figure out like the best way to use it. So I'm gonna keep trying it out, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I don't think that this is more of a nice to have, if that makes sense. Whereas I think the foundation is definitely a must if you are somebody that likes that soft matte, but you still want to have full coverage, but you also want it to be lightweight. Again, that part really trips me out. The full coverage, but it literally feels like there's nothing on my face. Like, he really did his big one with that. So yeah, girl, any products that I mentioned in this video, I will have listed and linked for you guys down below. So if you want to shop or check any of those things out, it'll be super easy for you guys to just click on the link and find them there. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought about this review. Are you thinking about picking up this foundation? Like, what's tea? I really want to know. Or if you've tried it out, what was your experience? Especially if you have a different skin type than me. Would absolutely love to chit chat with you about that down below in the comments. And I will be filming more content with this foundation very, very soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. If you want to see like a full get ready with me, or like full application with all of my other products, I will have that coming for you very soon. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed and found it helpful, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.